Born into unimaginable wealth, they have it all: private jets, mansions, and the kind of power most only dream of. But with that privilege comes a dangerous world of secrets, scandals, and impossible expectations. Every move they make is under a microscope, and one wrong step could shatter everything. In a world where money buys anything, the stakes are higher than ever. Get ready to dive into the thrilling, unpredictable lives of the rich kids where having everything can sometimes be a devastating burden. Chapter 1: Blue Ivy, Beyoncé's Heiress, and the Jay-Z cheating scandal. The spotlight has always burned brightest for Blue Ivy Carter. At just 13 years old, the firstborn of Beyoncé and Jay-Z isn't just a child of fame. She's a global curiosity, a billion-dollar heiress, and an unwilling protagonist in one of Hollywood's most explosive family sagas. But behind the glitz of her custom-made gowns and front-row seats at the Paris Fashion Week lies a darker narrative. A childhood shaped by betrayal, billion-dollar damage control, and the radioactive fallout of her father's infidelity. When Beyoncé dropped Lemonade in 2016, the world didn't just hear an album. It witnessed a seismic cultural reckoning. The visual masterpiece, dripping with raw fury and sorrow, exposed Jay-Z's alleged affairs with cryptic lyrics like "Better Call Becky with the Good Hair" and haunting imagery of shattered marriages. For fans, it was a triumph of female resilience. For Blue Ivy, then just 4 years old, it marked the moment her family's private storm became public property. Insiders claim the album's release triggered chaos behind closed doors. Blue was too young to understand the specifics, but she felt the tension, a source close to the family reveals. Beyoncé was determined to protect her, but how do you shield a kid from a scandal that's everywhere: radio, TV, the internet? The answer, allegedly, was a $10 million PR blitz. Crisis managers, child psychologists, and elite security teams were reportedly enlisted to craft a bubble around Blue Ivy, scrubbing her digital footprint and scripting her public appearances to project unity. But no amount of money could silence the whispers. By 2018, Blue Ivy's life had become a high-stakes game of hide-and-seek. Paparazzi stalked her elite Los Angeles prep school, while gossip blogs dissected her every expression. When she attended a father-daughter dance with Jay-Z, critics pounced saying it was damage control. When she clapped hesitantly at his speeches, armchair analysts diagnosed trust issues. Even her hobbies, painting, gymnastics, were framed as therapy for a child recovering from family drama. The most disturbing rumor? A supposed no-contact edict barring Blue Ivy from interacting with anyone linked to Jay-Z's alleged mistresses. While the claims remain unproven, sources allege Beyoncé's team enforced strict vetting of staff, friends, and even extended family. Anyone with ties to the other women was ghosted, says a former Carter household employee. Blue's world got smaller, safer, and sadder. Fast forward to 2023. Beyoncé's Renaissance World Tour isn't just a concert, it's a victory lap. Flanked by her mother on stage, Blue Ivy, now a preteen, dances with the poise of a seasoned performer, her sequin bodysuits mirroring Beyoncé's iconic looks. To the public, it's proof the Carters have healed. Behind the scenes, it's a meticulously crafted narrative. Blue's tour appearances are strategic, explains a PR insider. They're rebranding the family as unbreakable and positioning Blue as Beyoncé's protege, not a victim. Indeed, the preteen's growing profile, design collaborations, voiceover gigs, even Grammy credits, hints at a future mogul in the making. But at what cost? Critics argue Blue Ivy's talents are being weaponized to rehabilitate her parents' image. She's not just performing, she's performing for them, says a family therapist. That's a heavy burden for a 13-year-old. Blue Ivy's life is a paradox of extreme privilege and profound isolation. She travels by private jet, wears heirloom jewels, and owns a real estate portfolio that would embarrass a Kardashian. Yet she's never known anonymity. Her Instagram, managed by Beyoncé's team, is a pristine feed of curated moments. No messy school photos, no goofy blunders. Even her friendships are scrutinized. Rumors swirl that her inner circle consists only of children from A-list families, like Rumi Carter or Harper Beckham, all vetted for loyalty. Meanwhile, the Carters' empire marches on. Beyoncé and Jay-Z, now worth a combined $3 billion, have rebuilt their marriage in the public eye, collaborating on albums and business ventures. But the scars linger. At the 2024 Grammys, when Jay-Z called out the Academy's snubs of Beyoncé, the camera cut to Blue Ivy, stone-faced, clutching her mother's hand. Memes exploded. She's over her dad's drama, fans joked. Few considered the emotional toll of a child mediating her parents' legacy in real time. As Blue Ivy approaches her teens, the stakes are higher than ever. Will she follow Beyoncé's blueprint, a tightly controlled rise to queenhood, or rebel against the machine? Insiders hint at friction. She's starting to ask tough questions about the past, says a source. Beyoncé wants her to focus on the future, but Blue's curious. And the internet never forgets. For now, the Carters cling to their playbook. Dazzle the public, bury the pain. When Blue Ivy joined Beyoncé on stage at the 2023 tour finale in New Orleans, mother and daughter twinned in silver, dancing to Break My Soul as Jay-Z watched from the shadows. It was a perfect tableau of power, legacy, and sacrifice. But as the crowd roared, Blue Ivy's smile, wide, bright, and just a little too practiced, spoke volumes. This isn't just a childhood. It's a billion-dollar production. Blue Ivy's story is a cautionary tale for the Instagram age. She's a global brand before hitting puberty, a trauma survivor turned commodity, and a pawn in America's obsession with celebrity redemption arcs. But beneath the diamonds and designer labels, she's still a kid who never asked for this. A girl learning to navigate love, trust, and identity in a world where her pain is someone else's entertainment. As one family friend admits, the truth? No PR campaign can fix what happened. Blue's gonna carry this forever. We just pray she's strong enough to handle it. For the rest of us, it's a grim reminder. When fame is your inheritance, even billionaires can't buy back your childhood. Chapter 2. The Weight of History. Prince George. At just 11 years old, Prince George of Wales should be mastering multiplication tables, obsessing over soccer matches, and sneaking sweets when nannies aren't looking. Instead, the future King of England is navigating a minefield of monarchy scandals, whispered criticisms about his softness, and a family empire scrambling to outrun its own chaos. George's childhood is less about playground antics and more about palace politics. Welcome to the gilded cage of the crown's most reluctant heir. When Prince Harry and Meghan Markle sat down with Oprah Winfrey in 2021, they didn't just air grievances, they detonated a bomb under the House of Windsor. Allegations of racism, emotional neglect, and a toxic royal institution sent the firm into a tailspin. But while the world dissected Harry's estrangement, behind Buckingham Palace's stone walls, the focus shifted to one boy, Prince George. The Oprah interview was a wake-up call, a senior palace aide reveals. Suddenly, the future of the monarchy hinged on George. The message was clear: this can't happen again. Enter Operation Air Reset, a covert strategy to mold George into a modern monarch while erasing the Sussex's shadow. Central to the plan? An alleged anti-Meghan curriculum. Sources claim George's tutors were instructed to avoid mentions of Meghan in history lessons, downplay her humanitarian work, and emphasize traditional Windsor values. Critics call it propaganda for a preteen, but insiders insist it's about protecting George from divisive influences. Yet the cracks show. During a 2023 visit to Wales, George reportedly asked a local child, "Do you miss Aunt Meghan too?" A question that sent aides into a panic. The family wants him to forget the Sussexes exist, says a source. But George is curious. He's heard the whispers. In royal circles, George's nickname isn't His Royal Highness. It's the Gentle Prince. While his great-grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, was famously steely by age 10, George's empathetic nature has sparked quiet concern. He's sensitive, he cries during The Lion King, hugs staffers, and once insisted on apologizing to a gardener after stepping on a flower, a palace staffer shares. Some senior courtiers worry he's too kind for what's ahead. To harden the air, George's schedule now includes regal resilience training. Think: horseback riding lessons to mimic his ancestors' battlefield poise, simulated press conferences with faux paparazzi, and history modules glorifying ruthless monarchs like Henry VIII. It's boot camp for royalty, says an insider. William and Kate want him prepared, but there's a fear they're stripping away his childhood. The pressure escalated in 2023 when a tabloid leaked a report claiming George froze during a mock coronation rehearsal, asking, "What if I don't want to do this?" The palace denied the story, but the damage was done. Social media erupted with memes dubbing him Prince Anxious, while royal experts debated whether compassion is a liability in a king. Forget the Battle of Hastings. The royal family's latest rivalry is George versus Archie. Though the cousins, aged 11 and 5, have met only a handful of times, insiders describe a proxy war fueled by Sussex-Windsor tensions. There's a quiet competition to position the boys as opposites, says a source. Archie's painted as free and authentic in California, while George is the stiff heir trapped by tradition. The feud turned icy during the 2023 coronation. While George, in ceremonial robe, solemnly carried his grandfather's train, Archie celebrated his birthday 5,000 miles away with a Jurassic Park-themed cake and a video watched by millions. The contrast was stark: duty versus freedom, crown versus content. George asked why Archie didn't have to wear a crown, a palace staffer admits. No one knew what to say. Rumors of a communication blackout between the cousins swirl, with claims that William and Kate monitor George's iPad to block contact with Archie. The Waleses don't want Sussex propaganda influencing him, says a source. But as Archie grows bolder online, George's team faces a dilemma. Can a future king stay relevant if he's less fun than his California cousin? In 2022, a chilling letter arrived at Kensington Palace. "We're coming for the heir." The threat, one of dozens targeting George annually, triggered a security overhaul costing £400,000. Now, the prince travels with a SAS-trained guard disguised as a friendly tutor, attends school under a fake name, and practices lockdown drills in secret palace bunkers. The family lives in constant fear, a security expert reveals. George is the crown's most vulnerable asset. Paranoia peaked during a 2023 school trip to the London Zoo, where a tourist selfie attempt near George caused guards to tackle the man. Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales, is hailed as a master of grace under pressure. But behind closed doors, she's reportedly waging a battle against George's normal friendships. George attends a posh school, but he's bonded with kids from ordinary backgrounds, a family friend shares. Kate worries they'll leak stories or distract him from his duties. Enter the friend filter. George's playmates now undergo discreet vetting, background checks on parents, signed NDAs, and mandatory manners coaching to avoid faux pas like chewing gum or slang. One mom was told her son couldn't say bruv anymore, claims a source. Sleepovers are forbidden. Instead, George's pals visit Adelaide Cottage for monitored playdates with tea served in monogrammed china. The strategy backfired in 2023 when George's best friend moved away after his father called the rules ridiculous. George, heartbroken, allegedly lobbied to call his friend on Zoom, a request denied over security concerns. He's isolated, says a source. Even his friendships are royal business. As Prince George approaches his teens, the palace's grip tightens. His photos are always stoic portraits, never goofy selfies. His hobbies, sailing, chess, are future king approved. Even his wardrobe, miniature Savile Row suits, screams monarchy first. But rebellion simmers beneath the surface. During Trooping the Color in 2023, George's eye roll at a fumbling soldier's salute went viral. Finally, some personality, tweeted fans. Palace aides were less amused. George is at a crossroads, says a royal biographer. He can lean into the crown's stoicism or embrace his generation's hunger for authenticity. The problem? The firm can't survive both. Prince George's story is more than a family drama. It's a litmus test for the monarchy itself. Can a 1,000-year-old institution survive if its future king prefers Minecraft to military parades? If his compassion is seen as weakness? If his cousin's TikTok fame overshadows his birthright? The palace is betting billions on George. But as one aide concedes, no amount of training can prepare him for a world that's outraged by inequality, yet demands a king. He's not just a child. He's a contradiction. For now, George marches on, a small boy in a big crown, shouldering a burden even emperors would fear. The world watches, critiques, and wonders, will he break the crown? Or will it break him? Chapter 3. Kim Joo-ae, Wealth and Power in North Korea's Shadows. On a frigid November afternoon in 2022, the world caught its first glimpse of a child who might one day control not just nuclear codes, but a fortune as opaque as the regime she represents. Kim Joo-ae, the daughter of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, stood beside her father at a ballistic missile launch, her small frame bundled in a snow-white coat that contrasted sharply with the grim machinery of war around her. State media called her the most precious child of the supreme leader, but behind the propaganda lay a tantalizing question. Could this 10-year-old, raised in a palace of secrets, already be among the world's richest heirs? North Korea's economy is a black box, its financial workings obscured by sanctions, secrecy, and a cult of personality that treats the Kim dynasty as divine. Yet analysts estimate that the Kim family's wealth, drawn from state coffers, overseas ventures, and control over industries from mining to luxury goods, could amount to billions. Unlike the flamboyant billionaires of Silicon Valley or Gulf royalty, the Kim's riches are invisible, woven into the fabric of a totalitarian state where personal and national assets blur. For Kim Joo-ae, whose every public appearance is meticulously staged, her inheritance is less a bank account than a kingdom. A nuclear-armed nation of 26 million people, its resources hers by blood right. Her life, as glimpsed through state media, is one of surreal privilege. She has been photographed inspecting missile factories in tailored coats, attending banquets in ornate halls, and reviewing troops alongside her father. In a country where the average monthly wage is rumored to be less than $10, her wardrobe alone, designer puffers, pristine leather boots, hints at access to wealth unimaginable to most North Koreans. South Korean intelligence sources suggest she resides in a sprawling Pyongyang compound known as the Royal Palace, a fortress of manicured gardens and private schools guarded by layers of loyalists. Unlike her grandfather, Kim Jong-il, who famously stocked his palaces with cognac and rare seafood, Kim Joo-ae's luxuries are quieter, but no less extravagant. Imported educational toys, bespoke medical care, and insulation from the famine and repression that haunt her peers. But quantifying her wealth is a game of shadows. The Kim dynasty's fortune is believed to be stashed in offshore accounts, real estate in Europe and Asia, and investments in everything from pharmaceuticals to cybercrime. A 2020 UN report alleged that North Korea operates a network of shell companies and illicit trade networks to bypass sanctions, funneling profits to the ruling elite. If Kim Joo-ae is indeed being groomed as successor, as many analysts suspect, she would effectively inherit control of this labyrinthine system, a system that funds her father's $5 million Mercedes-Benz armored limousines, his collection of rare liquors, and his private zoo stocked with exotic animals. Rumors about the family's holdings abound. Defectors have described underground vaults in Pyongyang packed with gold bars, Swiss bank accounts managed by proxies, and mansions in Beijing and Geneva registered under false names. In 2023, the U.S. Treasury sanctioned 2 Singapore-based companies allegedly tied to North Korean coal exports, a trade worth an estimated $400 million annually, funds thought to bankroll the Kim's lifestyles. While Kim Joo-ae's name has not been directly linked to these ventures, her sudden prominence suggests she is being initiated into the regime's financial machinery. During a 2023 missile factory tour, state media claimed she guided engineers with her father, a moment analysts interpreted as symbolic training in managing the industrial complex that fuels both the country's economy and its weapons program. Yet this opulence exists alongside staggering poverty. Over 40% of North Koreans are chronically malnourished, according to the UN, and electricity remains a luxury in rural areas. While Kim Joo-ae rides ponies at elite equestrian clubs, children in the countryside scavenge for wild roots. This dissonance is central to the Kim playbook, projecting strength and abundance through the ruling family while the populace suffers. Her designer outfits and confident stride are not just personal indulgences but propaganda tools, reinforcing the myth that the Kims are benevolent, godlike providers. The question of her wealth is inseparable from her political future. Since 2022, she has joined her father at over 20 military and diplomatic events, including a 2024 nuclear policy summit where she sat stone-faced as generals pledged loyalty to her family's rule. South Korea's National Intelligence Service notes that state media now uses honorifics reserved for senior leaders when mentioning her, a subtle elevation fueling speculation that Kim Jong-un, who reportedly suffers from obesity and heart disease, is preparing her for power. If she ascends, she would command not just armies, but a shadow economy built on forced labor, cyber tax, and black market trade, a system that sustains her family's luxuries while the country starves. Internationally, her potential fortune draws scrutiny. Sanctions experts argue that the Kim's wealth, much of it stolen from the North Korean people, could make Kim Joo-ae one of history's youngest kleptocrats. She's not just rich. She's rich in a way that's fundamentally tied to crimes against her own population, said Marcus Noland of the Peterson Institute for International Economics. Yet proving or seizing these assets is nearly impossible. The family's money is laundered through third countries, hidden behind front companies, and protected by a cadre of enablers in China, Russia, and Southeast Asia. For now, Kim Joo-ae remains an enigma, a child whose net worth is written in missiles and myths. Her every public appearance a reminder that in North Korea, power and wealth are inherited through blood, not earned. She is both princess and prisoner. Her life a curated performance of privilege, designed to legitimize a regime that survives by blurring the lines between dynasty and dictatorship. As she grows older, the world may learn more about the fortune she stands to inherit. But in a nation where truth is statecraft, the full measure of her riches, like the fate of her country, will likely stay locked behind palace walls. Chapter 4. Stormi, Kylie Jenner's Instagram experiment. At just 6 years old, Stormi Webster isn't just a child. She's a global brand, a hashtag, and the unwitting face of a billion-dollar empire. Born into the Kardashian-Jenner dynasty, her every milestone is celebrated across social media, her smile plastered across Instagram feeds, and her name dragged into scandals far beyond her comprehension. Stormi's childhood is a high-stakes experiment in fame, fortune, and the Faustian bargain of growing up on camera. The chaos began on November 5th, 2021. Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival, a sold-out Houston event meant to celebrate his album and family legacy, devolved into a tragedy that left 10 dead and hundreds injured. As lawsuits piled up, accusing Scott of negligence and inciting chaos, the spotlight swung to his then 3-year-old daughter, Stormi. Her name began trending alongside terms like Astroworld victim and Kylie Jenner apology, despite her absence from the event. Critics lambasted the family for a tone-deaf Instagram post Kylie shared mid-tragedy, a since-deleted clip of Stormi dancing backstage with the caption, "Sparkles for my baby." The backlash was immediate. "How can you post your kid playing while people are dying?" one user raged. For Stormi, whose first public appearance was a $10,000 Hermes Birkin-themed birthday party, the incident marked her unwelcome initiation into the court of public opinion, a realm where even toddlers aren't spared judgment. Days after Astroworld, as victims' families planned funerals, Kylie Jenner hosted a lavish rainbow party for Stormi at their Hidden Hills mansion. Photos leaked of a candy-colored wonderland, towering unicorn sculptures, neon balloons, and Stormi grinning in a sequin dress. The internet erupted. Tone Deaf doesn't even cover it, tweeted cultural critic Esther Lee. This is trauma wrapped in glitter. Kylie's team scrambled, releasing a statement insisting the party was planned months in advance and that the family was devastated by the tragedy. But the damage was done. Memes comparing Kylie to a clown CEO and Stormi to a prop went viral. For Stormi, the party became a metaphor for her life, a curated fantasy where real-world pain is airbrushed away. Stormi's playdates now supposedly includes mindfulness coaches and emotional support nannies, a far cry from the carefree childhood her mother once advertised. To shield Stormi from prying eyes, the Jenners have built a fortress of secrecy. Nannies sign ironclad NDAs while security teams scrub Stormi's school records and monitor her iPad. They've created a Truman Show existence, says a source. Stormi thinks everyone lives in mansions with paparazzi at the gate. But the bubble is porous. In 2022, a nanny was fired after sneaking Stormi to a public park. Another quit over ethical concerns about filming the toddler for Instagram content. Kylie says Stormi loves the camera, but does a 4-year-old understand consent? The ex-nanny told The Sun. For Stormi, the line between playtime and performance grows blurrier by the day. By age 2, Stormi had her own cosmetics line and a $500,000 deal with a luxury toy brand. By 6, she'd modeled in Kylie swim campaigns and starred in ads for Mom's products. Critics call it exploitation. Stormi's childhood is a tax write-off, argues child labor advocate Hannah Parker. She's a mascot, not a kid. The backlash reached a fever pitch in 2023 when Kylie posted a video of Stormi approving a new lip gloss shade. Comments flooded in. Let her be a child, and this is child labor. Yet the posts stay up because they work. Analysts estimate Stormi's face generates $1 billion plus in annual revenue for the Jenner empire. She's the most profitable toddler on earth, says branding expert Mark Lewis. But we have to wonder at what cost? Stormi's life is a masterclass in 21st century child rearing. Homeschooled by tutors vetted by Kris Jenner, vacationing on yachts tagged Stormi World, and attending meetings where her input on plush toys is documented for Instagram. She's being groomed to take over the empire, says a source. Playdates are focus groups. Birthday parties are content farms. Even her name is a commodity. Trademarked for merch, hashtagged more than 3 million times, and immortalized in Travis Scott's lyrics. Stormi, she a star. It's a constant reminder that her identity is collateral in the family's empire. I don't even know who Stormi is anymore, says a family friend. Is she a person or a product? Stormi Webster's story is a fascinating tale for the influencer age. A reality where cribs are boardrooms and pacifiers are props. As she grows older, the stakes escalate. Will she embrace her role as Kylie's daughter, or rebel against the machine that sold her first steps for clicks? For now, Stormi dances on, her laughter soundtracking ads and her tears hidden behind NDAs. The world watches, buys her merch, and wonders, when Stormi turns 18, will she inherit the throne or burn it down? Chapter 5, Suri versus Scientology. Tom Cruise's estranged SP daughter. At 18, Suri Cruise is no stranger to the spotlight. The only daughter of Hollywood megastar Tom Cruise and actress Katie Holmes, she's grown up in a world of paparazzi flashes, designer wardrobes, and whispered scandals. But behind the glamorous facade lies a story of heartbreak, rebellion, and a father-daughter relationship fractured by the ironclad doctrines of Scientology. From Katie Holmes' daring escape plan to Suri's cryptic TikToks mocking the church. This is the tale of a young woman fighting to carve out her identity in the shadow of one of the world's most controversial religions. The year was 2012, and Katie Holmes was a woman on a mission. Married to Tom Cruise for 6 years, she had grown increasingly uneasy about the influence of Scientology on their family, particularly on their then 6-year-old daughter, Suri. According to insiders, Katie feared Suri would be indoctrinated into the church's strict practices, including its infamous disconnection policy, which mandates cutting ties with anyone deemed a suppressive person or SP. What followed was a Hollywood escape story worthy of a spy thriller. Katie allegedly used burner phones to coordinate with her father, a lawyer, and rented an apartment in New York under a fake name. On June 29, 2012, she filed for divorce, shocking Cruise and the world. It was a military-style operation, a source close to Katie reveals. She knew Tom's resources were limitless, and she had one shot to get Suri out. The fallout was swift. Tom, a devout Scientologist, reportedly faced pressure from the church to disengage from Suri, who was labeled an SP due to Katie's departure. While Tom has never publicly confirmed this, his absence from Suri's life speaks volumes. He went from doting dad to ghost overnight, says a family friend. Suri didn't understand why daddy wasn't calling anymore. As Suri grew older, the financial and emotional toll of her father's absence became impossible to ignore. In 2023, rumors swirled that Katie and Suri were considering legal action against Tom for unpaid child support. Though neither has confirmed the claims, insiders suggest the lawsuit could seek millions. Katie's been footing the bill for everything: school, extracurriculars, even Suri's wardrobe, says a source. Tom's worth over $400 million, but he hasn't contributed in years. The alleged legal battle has reignited public scrutiny of Tom's relationship with Suri. While he's been spotted at high-profile Scientology events and film premieres, he's conspicuously absent from Suri's milestones, birthdays, school plays, and, most notably, her high school graduation in 2023. Suri's friends were posting photos with their dads, and she just looked empty, says a classmate. It's heartbreaking. If silence was Suri's shield in her early years, TikTok has become her sword. In 2023, the 17-year-old launched a TikTok account, quickly amassing millions of followers with her quirky dance videos and fashion hauls. But it's her cryptic captions and song choices that have fans speculating about her feelings towards Scientology and her father. One video, set to Olivia Rodrigo's driver's license, featured Suri lip-syncing the lyrics, "And you're probably with that blonde girl who always made me doubt." Fans were quick to connect the dots, theorizing the blonde girl was a reference to Tom's close ties to Scientology leaders. Another post, captioned "Free to be me," showed Suri twirling in a flowing dress, her smile radiating defiance. She's not outright saying it, but the message is clear. She's done being defined by her dad's choices, says a social media analyst. The church, however, hasn't taken the bait. Scientology doesn't acknowledge Suri publicly, explains a former member. To them, she's an SP, a non-entity. But her TikToks are a thorn in their side. For Suri, the cost of her father's absence isn't just financial, it's emotional. Friends describe her as a bright, creative teen with a passion for fashion and art, but one who struggles with trust and abandonment issues. She's incredibly close to Katie, but there's a void, says a family friend. She'll never say it, but she misses her dad. That void was painfully evident during her high school graduation. While Katie beamed with pride, snapping photos and cheering, Suri's gaze often drifted to the crowd, as if searching for someone who never arrived. She kept looking at the entrance, recalls a classmate. It was like she was hoping he'd show up at the last minute. Tom may be absent from her life, but has a normal relationship with his other children, Connor and Isabella, who are both active Scientologists. They've been taught to see Suri as an SP, says a source. It's a toxic dynamic that's left Suri feeling like the black sheep of the family. As Suri goes to college, the question on everyone's mind is, what's next? Will she continue to distance herself from her father's legacy, or will she attempt to reconcile with him? Insiders suggest Katie is encouraging Suri to forge her own path, free from the constraints of Scientology and Hollywood drama. Katie's done an incredible job shielding Suri from the worst of it, says a family friend. But Suri's 18 now. She's forming her own opinions, and she's not afraid to speak her mind. That independence is evident in Suri's growing presence on social media, where she's embraced her role as a Gen Z icon. From her bold fashion choices to her unapologetic TikTok persona, she's carving out a space that's entirely her own. She's not just Tom Cruise's daughter or Katie Holmes' kid, says a fan. She's Suri, and she's just getting started. As she steps into adulthood, one thing is clear. Suri is determined to define herself on her own terms. Whether that means mending fences with her father or forging a path entirely her own, the world will be watching. For now, the battle between Suri and Scientology rages on. A quiet war of wills played out in courtrooms, on social media, and in the heart of a teenager who just wants to be seen for who she truly is. Chapter 6. Elettra Lamborghini, the Rebel Heiress. Elettra Lamborghini was born into a name that screams luxury, power, and speed. As the granddaughter of Ferruccio Lamborghini, the man who founded the legendary Lamborghini brand, she was expected to carry the family name with dignity and tradition. But Elettra had no interest in being the polished, business-savvy heiress of a billion-dollar empire. Instead, she chose a completely different path, one filled with scandal, controversy, and unapologetic self-expression. From an early age, Elettra made it clear that she had zero intention of working in the car industry. Unlike other billionaire heirs who tried to mold themselves into business leaders, She turned her attention to the entertainment world, social media, and extreme self-promotion. The world was introduced to Elettra not as a corporate face of Lamborghini, but as a provocative reality TV star with a wild personality and an even wilder sense of fashion. Elettra first gained international attention through Instagram, where she showcased her lavish lifestyle, expensive outfits, and frequent near-nude photos. She quickly gained millions of followers, not just because of her last name, but because of her uncensored, unfiltered personality. Unlike other socialites who kept things classy, Elettra had no problem stirring controversy, whether it was posing topless, wearing explicit outfits, or making bold, often inappropriate statements online. Her Instagram feed was a never-ending display of luxury, sexuality, and rebellion. She flaunted her diamond-encrusted body piercings, including her infamous nipple piercings, which became a talking point in European tabloids. She posted videos of herself grinding on nightclub tables, twerking in private jets, and pouring champagne on herself in extravagant parties. To many, she was the definition of excess, a billionaire heiress who used her wealth to party nonstop. To others, she was refreshing, unapologetically herself in a world where most rich kids tried too hard to appear humble. Elettra took her brand of chaos beyond Instagram. She entered the world of reality television, starring in several European shows that only amplified her reputation. One of her biggest breakout moments came from MTV's Super Shore, a spin-off of Jersey Shore, where she quickly became the most talked-about cast member. On the show, Elettra was unfiltered, aggressive, and completely unpredictable. She was known for getting into physical fights with other cast members, screaming insults in multiple languages, and making out with both men and women on camera. Her bisexuality became a hot topic in tabloids, with many praising her for her openness, while others accused her of using it for attention. She didn't stop there. She later joined MTV's Geordie Shore, where she clashed with the UK's wildest reality stars, proving that she could out-party, out-drink, and outshock even the most notorious cast members. But it was her appearance on Spain's Celebrity Big Brother that caused the biggest scandal. During the show, she lifted her top on live television, flashed cameras, and caused outrage among conservative viewers. Spanish media demanded her removal, but Elettra didn't care. She continued pushing the limits of what reality TV could get away with. While Elettra was out dominating the world of social media and reality TV, her family was not amused. The Lamborghini dynasty, built on precision engineering and luxury branding, was now linked to a woman who was famous for twerking on international television. Italian business circles whispered about how much the Lamborghini executives hated her public image. Reports surfaced that family members wanted her to tone down her behavior, but Elettra refused. She publicly stated in interviews that she had no interest in running the Lamborghini business and that she was not a car person at all. Her defiance angered traditionalists within her circle, who expected her to follow the path of other billionaire heirs, taking a role in the family business, making safe investments, and maintaining a dignified public image. Instead, Elettra seemed to enjoy embarrassing her last name. During one interview, she was asked if she ever drove a Lamborghini herself. She laughed and admitted that she didn't even have a driver's license. While her family disapproved, Elettra leaned into her bad girl reputation even harder. She declared herself the queen of twerking and started performing on stage at clubs and festivals. She posted tutorials on how to twerk like a billionaire, causing another wave of online debate about whether she was being empowering or just reckless. She also shocked audiences by tattooing leopard spots across her entire body, calling it her signature look. While many admired her confidence, others questioned whether she was addicted to self-promotion at any cost. Despite all the backlash, Elettra was too famous to ignore. Her Instagram and reality TV career gave her the perfect platform to launch something even bigger, a music career. In 2018, she released her first reggaeton single, Pim Pim, which became a hit in Italy and Spain. The song, filled with explicit lyrics and sexual undertones, cemented her status as a music star with a wild edge. She later dropped an album, Twerking Queen, staying true to her personal brand. Her music videos were as outrageous as her social media posts, featuring nearly nude outfits, erotic dance moves, and provocative lyrics. While some critics dismissed her as a rich girl playing pop star, others acknowledged that she was turning controversy into a profitable career. In a shocking twist, Elettra married Afrojack, the famous Dutch DJ, in 2020. Many expected her to remain single and wild forever, but her relationship with Afrojack softened her public image, at least temporarily. She toned down her extreme party lifestyle, focused more on music, and even spoke about wanting children. But even in marriage, she refused to become a traditional Lamborghini heiress. She still posts suggestive content, still makes headlines for her over-the-top behavior, and still wears her controversies like a badge of honor. While other heirs hide behind wealth and carefully crafted images, she has lived out loud, embraced her wild side, and built a brand that is just as fast and flashy as the cars bearing her last name. And whether her family likes it or not, she has ensured that the Lamborghini name will always be associated with speed, power, and a little bit of chaos. Chapter 7. Petra's $120 million divorce. The story of the F1 heiress. Picture this: a moonlit yacht off the coast of Monaco, champagne cascading into crystal glasses, A-list celebrities dancing under strobe lights, and two live dolphins leaping from a rented tank to the beat of a DJ. The price tag for this surreal soiree? A cool $1 million just for the dolphins. This was no fantasy. It was one of many legendary parties thrown by Petra Stunt, the 34-year-old daughter of Formula One billionaire Bernie Ecclestone, whose divorce and alleged spending sprees have become the stuff of tabloid legend. But behind the glittering facade lies a saga of excess, family betrayal, and a $120 million legal battle that has left the world asking, how did an heiress to one of motorsport's greatest fortunes end up here? Petra was born into a world of fast cars and faster money. As the youngest daughter of Bernie Ecclestone, the former CEO of Formula One Group, Petra's childhood was a blur of private jets, sprawling estates, and paparazzi flashes. Her father, worth an estimated $3 billion, built an empire synonymous with glamour and risk. Petra seemed destined to inherit not just wealth, but a legacy. Yet by her mid-30s, Petra's name became less associated with racing royalty than with scandals that read like a Hollywood screenplay. Her 2021 divorce from financier James Stunt, a split reportedly fueled by allegations of infidelity, reckless spending, and a lifestyle spiraling into chaos, catapulted her into a media storm. The divorce settlement, initially pegged at $120 million, became a battleground for accusations so lurid they defied belief. The divorce between James Stunt and Petra Ecclestone was anything but amicable. Court documents revealed a staggering list of grievances, including James Stunt's accusation that Petra had squandered £120 million on extravagant parties, luxury travel, and frivolous purchases. Petra's legal team fired back, alleging James had his own history of financial mismanagement. But it was the eye-popping details, not the legal jargon, that captivated the public. Central to the drama was a diamond-encrusted bra, reportedly valued at $100,000, seized by authorities during a separate investigation into financial irregularities. While its connection to the divorce remains unclear, the garment became a symbol of Petra's alleged excess. Rumors swirled that it was purchased for a party theme so extravagant, even seasoned paparazzi raised eyebrows. The most explosive claims centered on Petra's party budget. Reports allege she dropped $20 million annually on events, including the infamous dolphin rental. Sources close to the case claim Petra hosted themed yacht parties where guests were ferried via helicopter and entertained by rare wildlife. Critics called it obscene. Fans labeled it peak Petra. Then came the whispers of cocaine-fueled orgies aboard chartered yachts, allegedly attended by celebrities and socialites. While no concrete evidence or first-hand accounts have verified these claims, the rumors dominated gossip columns. Petra's representatives have repeatedly denied the allegations, calling them baseless smears designed to tarnish her reputation. The dolphin incident, however, is harder to dismiss. Multiple sources confirmed to The Sun and Daily Mail that Petra paid a marine entertainment company $1 million to transport the animals for a single evening. Animal rights groups erupted, calling the act cruel and vain. Petra's team argued the dolphins were professionally cared for, but the damage was done. Perhaps the most shocking twist came from Petra's own family. During the divorce trial, Bernie Ecclestone publicly distanced himself from his daughter, telling reporters, "I don't get involved in her affairs." Rumors swirled that he'd cut her off financially, though neither side confirmed this. The estrangement marked a stark fall from grace for Petra, once a fixture at F1 events alongside her father. Insiders speculate the rift stemmed from Bernie's disapproval of her marriage and spending. Bernie's old school. "He built his fortune through grit, not parties," said a family friend. This wasn't the legacy he wanted. As the trial unfolded, social media erupted with memes dubbing Petra the heiress who blew it all. Tabloids splashed photos of her partying in designer gowns alongside headlines like Princess of Excess. Yet, supporters argued she was a victim of sexist double standards. "Would a man be crucified for spending his own money?" tweeted one fan. Financial experts, however, saw a cautionary tale. "Wealth without discipline is a ticking time bomb," said money manager Sarah Collins. Second and third generation heirs often struggle with the pressure and freedom. Today, Petra's life looks markedly different. Though she retains ownership of a $90 million London mansion and a fleet of luxury cars, sources claim her access to the Ecclestone fortune has dwindled. She stepped back from the spotlight, focusing on raising her 3 children. James Stunt, meanwhile, faced his own legal woes, including bankruptcy proceedings. The $120 million divorce settlement, once a headline grabber, was quietly finalized under undisclosed terms. Yet the saga's legacy endures. Petra's story serves as a stark reminder of the perils of privilege, a life where money can buy dolphins and diamonds, but not happiness or redemption.